Hello, in this video I am going to talk about the Lorababer engine guard. I have successfully installed this on my Honda Rebel 500 and it fits onto the bike. So I'm going to talk about the fit and some installation observations or tips. So I had to this guard comes in two pieces, main pieces, that this side, the right side, and the other side, the left side, and some bolts and fitting that is inserted on the pipes ends that I'm holding right here. I used some ratchets. I was lucky to have a very long ratchet like this, so when I had to remove the bolt, the leverage was adequate. Otherwise, if I had to use small ratchets like these, which I did try, it seems exponentially difficult, needing extraneous force or a lot of force at almost to a point where it feels that I need another person to help me out. But once I put this leverage, this long ratchet, actually it's not a ratchet, it's just a bar that works somewhat like a ratchet, but it doesn't reset. It only goes in one direction when you rotate it. But luckily I had this long leverage to help me out. So when I had to remove the original bolt, that was a 14 millimeter bolt, so I had to use a 14 millimeter socket. That's this one. I had to use two of them, actually, yes, two, one for this side and one for the other side. I had to use one short ratchet on the other side, and I inserted a glove into this handle, so if in case this had to press against some other part of the motorcycle, I would have some protection against scratches. So that's what I did, and I had to still maintain holding the ratchet in place so it wouldn't fall out. But with this this made it very easy to undo the initial force that held the original nuts and bolts in place. Once that was removed, I had to place these main frame guards strategically through by bending this cap part, I don't know what you call that, this fitting end around the frame, and then bring it down into its location, making sure I put the centerpiece in here. And then I needed a 12 millimeter socket for this end and a 17 millimeter socket for the other end. So this is the 12 millimeter socket, and this is the 17 millimeter socket for the other end. I also had some adapters so I could fit the ratchet onto there. I needed adapters. Depending on the types of ratchets you have, you may need adapters as well. So luckily I had all of the required adapters, and I had two 14 millimeters for the initial removal. I have the other 14 millimeter in my toolbox. The only downside with this is, well, I did try to install the first engine guard from another company called Givi, but Givi, their guard came all the way up to here, which couldn't fit, so I had to return it. But this one fit in this location, but the bottom bolts here do reach the end on the other side, and I don't know if you can see, the light is not the best, but the bottom bolts are pushed up against the frame of the fan for the radiator. So that's the downside, but I don't think there's any major issue. I checked the two sides, and that happens on the two sides, so that's the downside. But I believe the guard will do its job. There's no real damage. Maybe it's just going to make an impression on the plastic for the fan. There's no real other than pushing an indentation into the fan guard. There's no real problem. And I had to get, also I don't have here in my tool set the hex keys. I forgot to bring that, but you also need your hex keys, and luckily I had that hex key that I had two kinds. One that was a ratchet to just set it in place, and then the L-shaped one, which I used to really put some force in to make sure it's secure. Oh, and then another tip is you're gonna get a long strip of rubber tape. I pretty much did a dry fit to see where this would meet, so I also took the tape without peeling off the part that protects the adhesive. I made a loop around to see the length that I need, then I cut it, and then I cut all the rest. So I had 4 pieces, 2 for this side and 2 for that side. So then I knew where the tape needed to be, and then I wrapped the tape around here. So that's that foam tape that you get for protecting the frame from scratches from this, and I also put that on there. So all in all, I am happy with the install. I did it by myself. Luckily I had this long bar and all the parts. The Allen key is not here. Oh, another tip is on the drawing for the instructions, you will see that there's a black tube which these bolts fit into on this diagram, but it's an old instruction that shows you with putting the tube on the inside here and then putting the bolt through here, but the tubes that come with this this package do not fit in here. It's longer, and it actually is made to be inserted into this hex bolt first and then placed in here. So it's not the exact same as in the instructions, just so you know, but it works, it fits, and it acts somewhat like a washer for the installation part here, just in case you're wondering how that would work. But it does work. So if you are not going to have a problem with the bottom 2 hex key bolts going into or pressing against the radiator fan, then that's the only issue. Other than that, I would recommend using this, and I'm happy with the installation. So thank you for watching.